walks up on the stairs, her light comes up, and he's standing looking straight at her. And she says, what the heck are you doing here? You're supposed to be up here helping the girls. And she said he had this look on his face, and then he completely disappeared in front of her. When she got up there to him, scared the crap out of her, by the way. When she got up there to him, he was already up there helping the girls. Whatever's there is very intelligent. I think it locks in on your mimicking people and stuff like that. So just be careful if you're going there, guys. Crazy location, but we didn't walk away with anything. There's supposed to be a little boy there also. Many nurses, some of the nurses hung themselves. This one did. Another one jumped out the window. I didn't even know about that in the area. They say that they thought one of them was pregnant and stuff. So that was really crazy. And that is Waverly Hills, guys. Another one is Bartonville Insane Asylum. And that one is in Illinois. This was the first structure on the site, was built in 1887, but then it was torn down in 97 because of design flaws. And then the new building was complete in 1902. The strange occurrences this location is that they have a haunted graveyard elm. Now this is crazy, guys. Listen to this. This is actually that they have this big tree, okay? And the tree actually makes damn sounds, Ashley. It will moan, and it will cry, and it wail, and it weep, and all kinds of shit. If I went down what the hell would you do if you got near that?
I thought it was a damn squirrel or something. Or somebody doing it behind a tree.
I know. I would have checked that shit out. Now, the thing is that they actually, they were saying that they have had phantoms that reside inside the asylum, that also they think maybe the reason why, maybe there was some torture or something and it just happened to soak up in that tree. Who knows? But no one can be sure. There have been many times that people have attempted to cut down and burn the tree, but those behind the effort have quickly given up once the tree began to, they say, vocally complain about the process. I mean, is it kind of...
Hey, whoa, yeah. Don't pollute.
Is it something like, I mean, are they moaning and crying? I mean, could you imagine cutting down a tree and it be crying? I would have stopped too. I mean, like, it's okay. I'll just leave you here. Shit, I can't hurt you. But then also, I mean, was it like the ones on The Wizard of Oz? Where they're like, hey, start throwing apples.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy as shit. I'd like to go see that. You know,
a tree? You gonna travel all that way for a tree?
Nah, I don't know about that, but I'd like somebody to go take a look at it for me. What about that?
Take a peek at that tree.
Yeah, tell me how it is.
You paying me $50, I'll take you to a tree.
Get behind it and be like, ooh,
don't chop me down.
The next one is the North Hampshire State Hospital. That's in Massachusetts. The lunatic asylum was built in 1856. It was overcrowded and neglect patient care, contributed to the hospital's closure in 1993. Many unmarked graves surround the building, such as the paranormal activity reported in the site consists mostly of sounds. Visitors hear footsteps, doors opening and closing, and whispers. Sometimes, now this is freaky as shit, they will hear the squeaking of like wheelchairs and walkers and shit like that. And they say that happens. They say that it's been on television shows. The Scariest Place on Earth features the hospital. And they say that
where is this again?
That one is in Massachusetts. It's Northampton, Massachusetts. Could you imagine like hearing something roll on by? You don't see it, but you can hear it. I would get scared at that. The sounds is what gets me. I'm very audible.
Well, let me hit one since you're in Massachusetts. Let's take a little side trip. Because this is one that I actually wanted to go to next year. Yes. It is Danvers Lunatic Asylum. It's in Danvers, Massachusetts. It's part prison, part asylum, and all terror. This Gothic monolith opened in 1878 to house mentally unstable criminals. Thanks to the addition of the mentally handicapped alcoholics and plain old felons, it became so severely understaffed by the 1930s that patients' deaths were not often discovered until days later, when they were found rotting in some forgotten corner. Shock therapy, lobotomies were standard procedures. In fact, some call Danvers the birthplace of the prefrontal lobotomy. A large cemetery on site is said to be haunted by evil spirits, suggests that these were not always successful. The sinister castle-like building is said to have inspired the H.P. Lovecraft's Arkham Sanitarium and also Batman's Arkham Asylum.
Yeah,
and
that's cool.
Was the setting of the Demon movie Session 9. And as that wasn't good enough, Danvers used to be the Salem village of the witch trials, the Salem witch trials.
Hey, that's pretty cool. That is.
In Salem, they are all crazy about them ghost tours and everything.
Oh, yeah, that's how they make their money, man. I can't wait to go. The Sisters of Salem will meet Salem, Massachusetts.
Yep.
It won't be the same again, people, I'm telling you. Another one that they have is, actually, this one is a Clovis Sanatorium. It's in California. It's also called Wolf Manor. It used to be a sanitarium, and then it went to a convalescent home. They say, actually, that it's going to be a hotel, and they say that there's EVPs of old women laughing, cold spots, and voices insisting to get out. Lord have mercy, that's all like on every investigation right there, you know what I'm saying? Good gracious.
That tree really interests me.
I do, that tree. Man, I tell you what, we do
I bet
have...
they pay somebody to hang out in that tree.
I know.
Like, they just open a door and they're like, here you go, Jeffrey, get in there.
Our girl Ashley, I tell you what, she is in the chat room right now, and she is hilarious. We got to give her a shout out. I love this girl. I tell you, I do. She happens to be Frank, and Shadows on the Wall. She does listen to them. I do know. Friends with them, and I tell you what, this girl is hilarious. She's like, damn if you do, and damn if you don't. If you don't work, you're gonna get in that insane asylum. I tell you. But don't y'all listen. We were really wrangle them guys in. I gotta talk to Shadows on the Wall about that weeping tree and shit like that. Ashley, do you know anything about that weeping tree? And I'm talking to you out there, girl. Our new friend. Do you know anything about that weeping tree? Have y'all heard anything? Anybody heard anything? Let us know on Facebook, because that is kind of freaky. I've never had that before, crying and weeping and shit like that. But anyway.
What happens if you smoke pot at the tree?
Does he get high with you?
I don't know.
That would be awesome. God. Oh my
That would be
Lord.
the best thing. How cool would that be to get high with a tree?
Oh my God, you're crazy. You seriously are crazy. I am not smoking with no damn tree. What the hell? God darn. Anyway, the Bayberry Mental Hospital, that is in Pennsylvania, PA, is... Most of these facilities, like most of them, reports that the patient mistreated abound. Now, guys, this gets crazy. We're going to talk about experiments in a minute, and it is crazy, crazy. Because of these atrocities, the facility was closed in 1990. There are underground catacombs and tunnels that are built under the main building and other structures on the property. Brave visitors who ventured into this area report seeing a lunatic spirit who believes to be a former patient of the facility. The angry entity apparently chases curious intruders out of the tunnel with a machete. You know what that reminds me of? Off of American Horror Story, where they had the one that had the like machete and stuff or whatever, and the people were making out. It was the beginning of it. It was Adam Lambert and stuff. Adam Levine.
Yeah. The thing is, like, each time, like, that was a song off of one of the American Story, or whatever is it?
American Horror Story.
It was actually a song of one of those, and I have found, like, a lot of, like, when I look through stuff, a lot of the, like, murders and things, they really, like, take it after certain things, because, in one of the stories I was reading, there was actually, like, if anybody watches the, series, they had this one about an asylum, and this lady went in and was like, this is not right how they're being treated, and then actually happened. Someone actually walked in there and saw how they were like combined, the two of them, like there was criminals and mentally disturbed people, and she actually went in and said that's not right, they shouldn't be treated like criminals.
That is true. Like, I read that on some of them, that they actually called them inmates. Even though they were just mentally ill, they just assumed they were all inmates. And I thought, man, this sounds really crazy to call them that. But they actually just thought of them like that. They didn't think that they were... They thought, hey, I got them here, let's use them as guinea pigs. And when we go into the experiments. But what...
And with the Nazis type guy, where they had Nazi guy, that was actually somebody. Like, I looked that up, and I was like, God, this sounds like the TV show. I was reading it so close, so that was pretty cool.
Actually, did you, when you did your research, did you hear about that guy who was from the Philippines, who actually would go in and he killed so many people. He would give them the wrong vaccinations and stuff and things like that. When he did, we're going to talk about this, we're going to talk about this a little bit later in experiments, but the guy was so notorious for killing people over there in the Philippines that when the Nazis were on trial, they actually quoted his experiments trying to get out of it. They were like, well, he did this and blah, blah, blah. This doctor, yeah. It's just crazy.
My thing is, like, I want to do a show on experiments that went wrong, because in one area, they actually used to cut parts off of a human and try to sew it back on a different area or somebody else's parts to try to see if it would start moving or, like, it would... like grow attached to it.
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking. That is scientific investigation at its finest.
Not scientific potato head.
Well, before we go in to the experiment parts of this, me and Ashley want to go on and play for you our EVP. We never do this, by the way. We normally keep our evidence to ourselves, but we are so compelled with this one right here that it's really, really cool. We really, really think it's neat. And it's one, let me set it up for you. Remember how I told you about ladies that are fluffy? I got to think about where the heck I'm going to get out of here. Well, we were at St. Albans and we went down and it was the electroshock area. And we had a larger group with us. Well, for some reason, some chose to go down the basement, some chose to go to phlebotomy. When this happened, I was kind of in the middle waiting for the ladies in phlebotomy, which is a little ways over. And I was just standing there. The number one rule as an investigator, you sure as hell don't go anywhere by yourself, okay? And when you do, normally that seems to be when things happen or whatever. But for safety reasons, one thing or another, you don't go by yourself. And when they split up, my big dumb ass was just standing there by myself. And I was like, wait a minute. So you're going to hear me ask for my sister, who damn done deserted my big ass, okay? But what happened that alarmed me was I was standing there in the dark, and I was like, okay, I got this. I'm just waiting. And I don't get spooked that easy. I mean, after you've investigated for so long. And I'm standing there, and I hear something really weird, like something tearing almost. And I flash my light up, and above me is some pipes. And in the pipes, literally, it looks like somebody, I can't see a hand, okay? But it looks like somebody took a hand and was just pulling down a piece of paint, and a big, like, probably a little bit smaller than my hand came off. And I'm talking about with the fingers and everything too. I have manly hands, okay? It was pretty large, and it comes off in front of me. Well, my first reaction is like, holy shit, because it was slow. It was like intentional, like, I want you to see this. But what I did was I was like, okay, I gotta get my shit together. This isn't really, it's just I just happened to be here when this piece of paint's fallen off. And then all of a sudden, I just get this fear. And this fear that said, okay, you need to move now. You need to get out of here. And I don't get that very often on investigation, but I just knew, and it was to the core, and I thought, okay, I'm just going to go find group members. And that's what I did. Now, when I came back and I analyzed, this is what we heard. And I want you to listen really, really close, guys. I'm really excited about this, and I want you to tell us what you think. You can tell us on Facebook. You can drop us a message, emails, whatever you want, and just let us know. So you ready? I'm talking to you, Ashley.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Ashley. Okay, guys, what did you think? I can play it for you again. You ready? Ashley. That is the freakiest thing to me, because at the end it says what we believe to think is run Forrest. When it says, then we actually, it kind of fits, because I'm going to tell you another part of that story. Is after I actually left and stuff, and we started investigating the rest of the way and stuff like that, all throughout the night, you actually started just quoting Forrest Gump and shit. And we couldn't understand why that you were quoting that shit. Also, like, you would just say these little random things so much that we were like, Jesus, you need to stop. When we went home, to us, it says, run, Forrest. And then later on, there's been other reports of people, like, little Forrest Gump things that, like, will play or something on their phone. We did some research, and we found out that that facility, St. Albans, was still going when Forrest Gump was actually produced and stuff like that, and the movie was released. So maybe, for some reason, they are still out there trying to communicate and stuff. So, anyway, that was our little promo we wanted to put out there for St. Albans. Now, Ashley, tell us a little bit about some experiments.
Actually, some of them were, you all know about the phlebotomies, and where they used to take the spikes and take it through your head, and they thought that was a way to fix any problem that you had. One thing is that if they had typhoid pneumonia, they would actually, a treatment would B, that they would strip them naked and made them lie down on the ground on his stomach. At this point, they would pour 5 gallons of boiling hot water on the patient's back. And that wasn't the end of the suffering. After that, they did it every 4 hours. So they continuously poured this hot-ass shit on their back and supposedly got rid of some stuff.
Hell yeah, I'd say I was okay, too.